The Good Citizens Podcast.
It was funny. I was talking to somebody this last weekend.
What they say?
I'm gonna tell you, D.O.L.O. I'm gonna tell you what they said. And he was talking about somebody that he was about to go on a date with, and the girl had a kid. So he was trying to figure out, like, one, what's the etiquette on that, and two, is that something that he wanted to get into? I thought that was a question that we could bring up right here.
When did he find out that the girl had a kid?
Not right away when they started talking, but pretty soon. I mean, before.
How'd they meet?
Online.
And it wasn't made clear online that
ain't that usually on the profile?
It wasn't on there. No, as far as I know, it wasn't.
Okay,
on there.
I got
Strike one.
Right.
So what,
Can't be hiding your kids out here. Put that on the forefront. That's
Drake did it. So.
Drake wasn't hiding his kid.
Oh, he was
from
hiding
the world. He was hiding the world from his kid.
It's a rough world out here.
He's Jewish. He can get away with that.
Stop it. Oh my God. Okay.
So my question is there certain things that you got to be, aware of going into that you may want to think of before you really dive into it?
Let's let the parent.
I was going to say, because none of us have kids.
We don't.
Right.
We should speak to the person who has a kid.
We have a resident expert right here.
How do you approach that, D.O.L.O?
How do I approach it? I don't approach it. Me personally, I choose not to date single mothers.
Is that because you have a kid?
Wait, hold up. I got a lot to say about that one.
Would it be the same if you didn't have a kid?
Tag me in.
Still not?
Oh, this just got spicy.
Tag me in.
It'll probably be the same if I didn't have a kid.
Okay.
Yeah, y'all think I'm toxic? I'm toxic
hella
for having a kid and not wanting.
No, I'm just kidding. But I just think
because,
it's a little hypocritical. If you have a child, I think the perfect person for you to date that could understand exactly what you're doing as someone who's co-parenting is someone else who's co-parenting. Right? Like, blend those families together.
I don't know. I see both sides.
I mean, but if you already got one kid, then maybe you don't want two.
That's reasonable. But I think to expect someone to be like, accept your child as their own and not be willing to do the same in return, to me, that's all I'm saying. But everybody's entitled to their preferences. But I just think that if you have a child, to me, the perfect situation would be somebody else that has a child. You guys can do family activities when y'all get to that point.
It's all perspective.
I want to hear what he has to say.
Yeah, it's all in your perspective. I mean, that's one way of looking at it, but also too, like, I have enough on my hands with my child.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to give her all my attention, all my energy, and I know I'm not willing to take on. I know what type of energy and what type of what it requires to take on another child into your.
I respect that.
You know what I'm saying? Into your atmosphere, into your life. You gotta. I wouldn't want to be half-assed with be dating the mom and then having to fake it around the kid, like, hey, little man.
But when do you
take my phone? Give us a few minutes.
When do you actually meet the kids for the person you're dating? Is the other question, though.
I don't know. I don't.
Is there a good answer? Oh yeah, wait, I'm not bad. Okay, I don't know. Have you ever dated somebody who has kids?
I went on a date with a girl in law school who had a son, which it was fine. Like, I mean, but it was well known that she was taking care of her kid. Like, she would, and a bunch of us within the school would attend the birthday parties, and so it was cool. That was my only experience. It didn't go after that date.
Right.
But,
okay.
So
nothing
long term. Have anything to do with her being a parent, or
definitely? Like, I'm not gonna sit here in front like I didn't think about it. But I also am. I mean, my mom had a son when she met my dad. So, my oldest brother. So, like, I get it, and I'm not like necessarily opposed to it, but it doesn't work in her favor.
It doesn't make things easier. It doesn't make things easier.
If I'm being 100.
And honestly, like, if someone has a child, they're not as accessible, right? Like, in terms of dating, you're gonna have to kind of go through more barriers, which, I mean, I hate to look at a kid that way. There's a lot more elements to think about. You got to think about sitters, who's gonna watch the kid.
There's all that, and then you got to think of the baby daddy or the baby mama,
the extra person that you're bringing into the relationship.
There's we know how a lot of those dynamics can be fortunately, with me and mine, like I keep mine, intact. Everything is cool.
You guys are co-parenting,
yeah,
positively.
Exactly. As long as, in my experience, as long as you doing what you're supposed to be doing for your child, the mom. There's some spiteful baby mamas out there and all that, but for the most part, if you're taking care of your child, baby mama's gonna leave you alone and like let you live your life. But so I've always been there for my daughter, so she's never had her mother's never had the need to meddle into my business and care about what I'm doing and all that. So that's why I think anyone who is dating me is comfortable dating me with me having a child, because I'm not messy. I don't have a messy situation. Mm-hmm. I know most situations aren't like that, just from my male friends that I know, what they're going through and all that. So that's not something I would be willing to, take on. And I'm cool. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with having a preference. I don't think that makes me hypocritical. If I was willing to date chicks that had kids and I knew I wasn't trying to get serious with them, or I knew I was just trying to use them for whatever, then I could see how that's hypocritical or how it could be toxic or whatever. But I just have a preference. Like, I've come across mad females who have that same preference. They'll say that, oh, I don't date dudes with kids and this and that and the third. So I don't see why a male can't have the same preference.
No, I agree. It's just, cool. I think bringing in the other person too, they have to understand that like they'll never come first, right? Like, and that's something that I think a lot of women have a problem with. Sim, are you dating? Would you date somebody with kids?
I would. I think I would. I think as you get older, that becomes more of an option. I would like to have kids eventually one day. So if the right situation happened where the person that I wanted to date had a kid, then I think I would do that. But I think if I was in D.O.L.O situation, I could definitely understand not doing that at the same time. Like,
I get it now that he explained his perspective. Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me.
The next person I have a child with is going to be hopefully my wife. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully a person I'm going to be with forever. So, yeah, I'm not trying to have a bunch of kids out here everywhere. And
manifest.
I'm not saying
it will be your wife.
I'm not saying that just because you're a single mom that means that's that's your situation, that you out here trying to have a bunch of kids. But I'm just not trying to take on everything that comes with dating a single mom. Just me personally.
I didn't answer
much respect to the single moms, because I know.
Yep. Shout out to single moms out there.
I know it's not easy dating out here with a child. I know it's probably harder for a single mom than a single father for sure. So I respect all of them that have to go through that and all that. But
I was just about to say that, because dating single dads is like, you have a child? Like, most of the time, it's honestly, you don't really know, because a lot of times the mom is the primary caretaker. And I know you have a little more time with Sky, so it's probably not that same situation. But a lot of times, like, these guys out here that have kids and are co-parenting, even the ones that are there, like, the mom still usually has more time. So it's like usually just like, I'll get up with you when you don't have the kids. And I'm very serious about, like, I don't want to meet your kids until I know, like, this is something long lasting. And I will look at you skeptically if you want to date me and like date two, you're like, oh, I want you to be my daughter. Nah, like, she shouldn't be meeting every person that you're just dating.
So you would do it though?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. Again, I think especially like men with kids is like, it's not really an issue. Like women, it's like, I get the fact that like they're usually the primary caretaker. So that's like a different issue.
How soon should person with a kid disclose that they have a kid?
Immediately.
Off the bat. Yeah. Off the bat.
Because that's going to affect the way you do everything.
Yeah,
your time that you can speak and talk, because your kid is going to require a lot of attention.
And if you don't disclose it off the bat, it looks like you hiding it. Mm-hmm. And then you look funny in the light just off the rip. So yeah, that should be the first thing.
So pretty much everybody said yes, they date somebody with kids, except for the man with the child.
Right.
Hey, right. Maybe he's on to something.
I wanted to summarize.
I said yes, I dated.
Previously. I'm yes. Esquire is married, but I'm saying you've already done it, so I'm counting you. Okay. You already did it.
Last thing on that, how long do you wait until that person meets your kid?
I mean, I've only introduced my daughter to one young lady, and we was dealing with each other for like probably close to a year.
That's reasonable.
Okay.
Close to a year,
for sure.
Yep.
Trial period done.
Yeah, I don't play those type of games. Like I said, I wouldn't just have any old body around my daughter.
Yep. Yeah. Not my bestie.
Shout out to Sky.
Yeah, shout out to Sky for real.
Shout out to Sky.
The Good Citizens Podcast.